Alrighty, we are going to do, ooh, gosh, I didn't mean to hit that. Alrighty, we're going to do another Abyss review, taking up another day of my moving trip. Don't worry, my audio will get better whenever we get to our new place, and, well, you won't be able to see a different background. Anyway, so this is going to be Dull Braids. Their thing right here, I am going to read out this paragraph because they wanted to give some context. They said, I'll explain my team a little bit if you do a video on it, so you can talk about it. My Lyney is C6R1. And he is top 5% on Akasha Network. Cool. If you don't know what Akasha is, go check it out. It's really cool. He's running 4Ps, Marshmallow Hunter, 66.5 over 265.4, which plus the 36% is going to give us, can I do math? Can I do math? Yeah, like 102%. Okay. 102.5%. Oh no, okay, it brings it up to 99.5, so I was 2 over. And his C2 brings his crit damage up to 325.4 after he's been on the field for 6 seconds. Raiden is running a 4-piece Golden Troop with full EM, so it might be a overloaded team. R5 Lion's Bane, overload triggered, here's her overload trigger, yep, has 894 EM. Chevy is C6, hell yeah, I wish I had my C6 Chevy. I wish I had a C6 Chevy. With R5 Magical Girl Staff, and she's running 4-piece Tenacity. Interesting. Allows her to fire her skill 3 times without cooldown. I want to see what C4 Chevy with Tenacity does compared to Chevy with Songs of Days Past. After you use her burst, Yanfei is C5, so we have a shield. With R5 Prototype Amber, and she's running 4-piece Noblesse. Okay, cool. So let's look at this. This is going to be a really good team. This is going to be a very different team compared to what we've seen. So I am excited about this. So, like she said, Lyney, Raiden, Chevy, and Yanfei. Okay, so of course we're going to start out with Raiden. This is on Last Abyss, not the current one. So we do have Raiden coming onto the field using her skill, which means every time another enemy or one of your other characters attacks, we'll be doing electro damage. Overloaded, great to use with Chevy. I run a Raiden hyper carry with C6 Sara, Chevy, and Benny. And Raiden's skill with Benny and Chevy is what allows me to trigger Overloaded. In case you don't know, Chevy's Overloaded reactions allow or strip resistance from enemies, and Chevy can give an attack buff. So Chevy is phenomenal. Chevy's like the Kazuha in this team. So we got Raiden. Yanfei using her burst, which if you don't know, whenever you get constellations on Yanfei, you can get a shield from using her burst. So that is going to be really, really good. And Prototype Amber is going to be a secondary healer in this team. So that way we have Lyney's HP fluctuating a little bit more, along with Chevy healing as well. Using Chevy's burst first. Now, if you've never used Chevy, you have to cause an overloaded reaction first before you use her skill. So using her burst right now is going to cause the overloaded reaction, 15,478 on the overloaded. That's going to be on the initial damage. The overloaded damage, I think, is behind it. So with Chevy, she is using Raiden, using Yanfei, setting up to then go into Chevy, using Chevy's burst to get the overload. As you can see, like you can kind of see the symbol starting to show up over here. I can't reach that far. My green screen doesn't go that far. It is on the other side of Chevy's hair where this little explosion is happening. There's a bullet mark. That means that Chevy now has an overloaded shot. So whenever you do her hold skill, it is going to give an attack buff to your party. So that's why we're causing the overloaded first. So you have to cause an overloaded reaction before Chevy gets an overloaded shot, or an overloaded ball, I think is what it actually is called. Okay, so all of these 1,234s, those are going to be the extra little hits from Chevy's burst whenever Chevy shoots and it explodes outward. You have a bunch of tinier explosions. That's what those are going to be. This 9,870, I believe, is from her skill. From the hold shot, plus that 3,600 is from Raiden as well. Yeah, sorry, my dog's chewing something in the background. Okay, and then, yep, did you use 2 charges of her skill? Okay, so then you used 1 skill, then you used a second skill shot too. Okay. Then we're gonna go to Lyney and pop his burst, 45,820. And then we got 19,778 from the overloaded. That should be from Raiden triggering it. And then we got a 30,071. Okay, cool. Now we're gonna go into Benny's charged shots. 88,098, very, oh geez, very, very good. Again, causing another overloaded reaction to keep the enemy weaker, to have their resistance shredded to Pyro and Electro. So this is really good. This is Raiden and a Pyro character can get really, really good together with Chevy. 66,146 on the second shot. Oh no, okay, sorry, I was seeing something else. 93,824 plus 15,268. You gotta love being hit by things that you're not targeting. Okay, so then that's 135,783. So that is his burst hat triggering and blowing up. So 135k on those. That's really nice. 21,498. That's another overloaded reaction too. So one thing that I did notice in doing some tests with stuff whenever Chevy was about to come out, we thought, a lot of people, me included, thought that Chevy was going to be like Nilu, where she was going to allow the overloaded reaction to be buffed and just do a crazy amount of damage, not debuff from overloaded. So whenever I was doing a video on overloaded, I found out that if you drop the enemy's resistance to Pyro, overloaded does more damage because of how overloaded is worded in its reaction. It does an instance of Pyro damage. So you can make enemies weaker to overloaded by dropping their Pyro resistance. So Raiden's doing more damage from having that drop of Pyro resonance, or Pyro resistance, not resonance. 75,912, nice. And then 100,594, and then 16,341. So you're doing a ton of damage to your shots. And then 175,563, that is going to be from his skill. Oh, I just realized you're playing on PlayStation or Xbox? Playing on Xbox? Or is that just a different controller? But that is from using his skill 175,563, which Marshmallow Hunter is so freaking good on Lyney. I mean, every single one of these is critting, which is super, super good. So you have killed the Frost one. This is an interesting team because you have to single target. You can't kill them all at once with the character like Lyney. So it's really, really interesting. I've never seen somebody do a single target team. 7,000 from the initial shot, 15,478 from the overloaded reactions up top with Raiden. You doing your multiple shots on the skill from Chevy. Going to Yanfei, bringing back up the shield. So is Yanfei's shield just to kind of help Lyney not have to worry about interruption? Because Lyney and Neuvillette are very, very susceptible to interruption. So I'm wondering if that's why you're using Yanfei's shield. And you're using Yanfei instead of Toma, so that way you can get the prototype Amber to get a little bit of extra healing in there. Another shot. 99,000. That's okay, so that's really interesting. That's because we're not dropping his HP yet, I think. I think if I remember Lyney's kit correctly. Ooh, I didn't remember. So that first hit says 71,000. Okay, so I was thinking that 11,000 on the front was what it was doing, but that there is a 71,165 behind there. Okay, that makes more sense. That's what I was confused about. 96,995, 98,000. Your individual hits with Lyney are insane. 116,425. Jeez, and I'm guessing that part of his constellations is getting those extra instances of damage, right? Like every time that I've used Lyney, it's been a C0, and he's only done that one hit. But I believe that through his constellations, that's why you're getting these multiple instances of pyro damage from Lyney. That's why we're seeing like the cat hat thing shoot along with his arrow, like that right there. Right, he hasn't even released the arrow, and this thing went out, and it was 142,775. Is that from a constellation, or am I just misremembering Lyney's kit? 107,349, nice. And then you're going to go and you're going to use his burst right there. 8,402.66, nice. Oh, that's right. And you're using Yanfei because you're running Noblesse. So you're using her burst. Okay, that's right. I remember reading that now. So Yanfei is giving a shield, giving a little bit of healing with Prototype Amber, and giving you Noblesse. Okay, cool. Are you running an ER Sands on Yanfei? I would expect that you are, just to have her burst ready off of cooldown. That's the one thing that with Chevy missing on the hold skill is it's interesting. It took me a little bit to get used to her hold skill too. Popping the burst. 186, 301 over there in the corner. Going into the charge shots. 63,759. 83,049. Popping that burst. Jeez. 3 instances over 100K. 134K back behind this, 112, and then another 112. That is insane that you're able to just hit, what is that, almost 400K just popping it off like that. That's crazy. That's such a cool team. I really, really like that team. I don't think I've ever seen Lyney used in a Chevy team before. That's a really, really cool team. I'm sure it would be really good in this current Abyss where you, well, not floor 11, where you're not having to fight 3 of them, where you're only having to fight 1. It's probably much, much easier to run this in a single target boss instead of those 3. Because like I said, I've never seen somebody run a single target team in this Abyss. All right, we're gonna let it play one more time. Okay, so I really like this team. It's really cool. Like I said, I've never seen this team of 4 together. It's really, really cool. I love using Chevy in this way with Raiden and Lyney and Yanfei. I've never seen Yanfei used kind of in this way. I really, really like it. I would love to know how this goes on like a single enemy. That'd be really cool. If you want to send another one on this current Abyss, because I'd love to see it. I'm going to give this team a 10 out of 10. I'm probably going to give a lot of stuff to 9 cents just because it's really cool. I've never seen this team, right? Like I don't think I would run this team personally, but I freaking love this team. It's so cool to see people use characters that I would never think about using together. This is a really, really cool team. I'm just kind of watching it, admiring it. All of your numbers were great. I mean, it's really, really good. It looks a lot better not being taken, like attack by attack. It looks so much cleaner now than whenever I was taking attack by attack. Dude, the HP bars to me just descend so fast looking at it like this. Yeah, that's crazy. It's such a good team. Such a really, really cool team. That's going to be it for this video. See you in the next one.